So we started off this topic of Azure Storage talking about storage accounts and particularly tables. Remember, we created a table, we then used a .NET application to insert data into it and then read data from it, which is structured data which is stored in a tabular format. We then talked about Cosmos DB, which is a NoSQL type database. You can use it's multimodal, so you can basically choose which type of data you want, MongoDB, Cassandra, etc. We chose the SQL storage type, which is DocumentDB, JSON files essentially. We used .NET to read and write from that. Then we moved on to relational databases, which is primarily Azure SQL database within Azure, although not only does it have the SQL Server equivalent, it has PostgreSQL, MySQL, and MariaDB for Azure SQL as well. Now we're looping back to talk about storage accounts once again, and this time we're going to talk about blobs. Now storage accounts do support queues and files as well, but these are not listed as topics on the test, and so we're not going to dive deeply into them. But blobs are basically the ultimate in unstructured data. Blobs are basically just a container in which you can throw files. And so we go into here, blobs, we'll see that there are no containers to start. And we may want to just create ourselves a container. I'm going to call this first. Now, there are access levels in the container at the container level. So we can basically say for private containers, they always require authentication to access. And then you can have blob containers, which basically allow for anonymous access to the individual files. You would use this for your website if you wanted to store the images and the text files and the videos in this container. That needs anonymous access, and you might want to create blob level anonymous access. Finally, container level anonymous access will allow you to actually access the whole container and list the files inside of it. So this is an additional level of anonymity. But let's go and create a default one, which is private, probably the best one for most circumstances. So we just created a container called first. Now, even using the portal, we can just upload a file into this first container. So I'm going to click the upload button, choose a file from my computer, and upload it into this brand new container. I'm just going to choose one of my course images here. And we can see here that it basically allows us to overwrite the image. We can set the authentication that we want to allow for it. Let's just leave all that and just say upload. It was only 200 kilobytes. It's uploaded successfully into our container. So as you can see, it's just going to be a file folder that we can upload. Now I should also point out that there is sort of the concept of a folder structure, but it's not a real folder structure. It's more of a virtual folder structure. So I can go back to upload and we'll choose another file here. And so I'm going to choose this file, random file on my computer, and go into the advanced section, and you'll see it says upload to folder. So now I can choose the folder images as an example. But again, containers don't have real folder structure. It's just going to basically virtually create this concept of images. So if I did that, it said completed. Then I'm going to see this folder that's been created, and I can see that it contains an image. Okay. Now this can be done as well using the API or in other methods. You can simply prepend the name of the file with this images slash, and it will create a virtual container structure for it. Okay, so it looks and acts like a folder essentially. Now this is all well and good. We can put files in here, but the real purpose of this and the value of it is to be able to access those files when we need it.